Ascendance of a Bookworm was hailed as one of the best isekai ever made, something which the fanboys say for every isekai there is, therefore this statement means nothing. What matters is the execution, which for this show was supposed to be how it's not a power fantasy about a male loser getting reincarnated in a video game, where he is overpowered and forms a harem while fighting the demon lord with his broken superpowers. This show is better because the protagonist is a girl. There are no video games, no harem, no demon lord, and no superpowers. It's a simple coming of age about a simple girl in a simple medieval setting. Or so it was at first, because that is no longer true by the end of the second season. But first things first. Every story needs to give the viewer reasons for keeping up with it, and this one offered a down-to-earth isekai. It had a heroine who was struggling to achieve small victories in an almost mundane setting with not much to struggle towards. On top of that, she is not exceptionally powerful just because she got isekai'd, since she has a very frail body that can kill her if she works hard or if an incurable disease kicks in. Plus, she can't even openly say she's from a different world, because the church is going to execute her as a witch. Plus, because the setting is medieval, it lacks even the most basic luxuries and services we take for granted in our contemporary society. They still have slavery and public executions, and women wish to be sex toys for men. Thus, everything she does is seemingly harder than what it would be in our world, and thus every little victory she achieves comes off as rewarding, despite being mundane as hell for the rest of us. Or so it was at first, because that is no longer true by the end of the second season. Anyways, since we need a plot so that the show won't be a slice of nothing happens, the heroine sets forth to read books. Something a bookworm like her finds to be super important, although it isn't, but we need her to have an obsession over something, so we can also have an objective, otherwise there will be no plot. Thus we spend the first few episodes in her trying to find books to read, only to find out books are very expensive and very rare, and there are no public libraries because the setting is medieval. Thus, she sets forth to print her own books. What? Because the most logical thing you can do when you can't read books is to print your own books, so you can read your own books. What? If this sounds like a really stupid leap in logic, get used to it, because it's going to keep happening every few episodes, and by the end of the second season the objective will have moved and changed so many times, and the initial premise will not matter in the least. In fact, it won't even make any sense. Why did the heroine spend all those episodes in trying to print books when she could simply join the church that was full of books? It's basically a plot hole that renders most of the first season completely pointless. This is the main problem with the show. It keeps changing the objective every few episodes and becomes more and more distant from what it was in the beginning. Although it is normal and expected to have changes happening in a coming-of-age story, in this case the changes betray the premise and gradually change the show to a more mundane fantasy adventure. The sickly typical girl that makes you so happy to see her achieve small victories becomes a super awesome teacher, and super awesome inventor, and super awesome merchant, and super awesome cleric, while everyone around her are constantly amazed with all the stuff she can do. And boy does she enjoy the attention by constantly smiling smugly. How is this not empowerment fantasy just like any other isekai? And it doesn't even stop there. Her sickly body that would kill her with simple daily activities ends up having a dark superpower hiding inside her, which makes her far stronger than most people. There goes that appeal. She's another shonen protagonist with a demonic power inside her. Oh, and that part about not being able to reveal she's from another world because she will be executed? It got revealed eventually. A priest tried to punish her. She used her awesome superpowers for force choking the guy a la Darth Vader, and then she got forgiven because her super important knowledge of our world can make her kingdom very powerful. What happened to the whole fear of dark magic they all had up until this time, and how is this not empowerment fantasy just like in any other isekai? You think it stops there? In the first episodes there was no magic for making things easier. The setting was almost magic-free. By the end of the second season, there are huge magical trees and flying lions and knights that use magic to protect the world from evil. Which means there is a demon lord out there and they want to use the heroine for helping them in defeating him, the show becomes just another isekai. Therefore, Ascendance of a Bookworm is not a good show. It's another generic empowerment fantasy that took its time before revealing its true colors as another light novel piece of trash and betraying any good thoughts you had about it.